Hey, welcome back to Mike's Diabetes World. Okay, now there it is. I knew I had it. Okay, current blood sugar is 97%. 97%. 9.7, not 97%. Fully calibrated. I've had a couple of corrections trying to keep it under 10. So that's all good. I just had snacks, so we're up a bit, and we'll see where it goes from here. Okay. Time and range, it's 50-50. We are getting better. I said today we were going to work on getting better, and we are. Even this number, average sugar is 11.8. Wonderful. Today I want to talk to you about misdiagnosis of type 1 diabetes. It's actually bigger than you think. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. This channel is provided for informational purposes only. Contact your physician for any diagnostic or treatment plan. Type 1 diabetes. It's on the rise. And if it's on the rise, misdiagnosis. We all know, or not we all know, as type 1 diabetics, we've all lived through the symptoms. We know that incredible thirst, urinating. Oh God, I can remember just going through class and just waiting to get out, and I started to know where all the water fountains in the school were. And I would just drink. I spent I believe, half of my lunch hour at a water fountain, the other half in the toilet. So we think we know what's going on. In fact, we probably really don't know what's going on. And I've said before that as patients, we sort of have to be the ones that say, hey, I'm a type 1 diabetic. I know what the symptoms are. I think you're doing something wrong. You need to work and get better numbers. What you're doing isn't working. I praise my mom because she was the one that pretty well spotted that I had type 1 diabetes. She went in and told the doctor, I think he's pretty well got type 1 diabetes. Luckily, I don't have a weird out story of my diagnosis. Well, that I was misdiagnosed, and in fact, I think I just sort of was in DK. I don't think I was far. I never got an IV. I went into the hospital, and checked in, and they gave me a shot. I had a blood sugar and they gave me a shot. And lo and behold, once I had that shot of insulin, it was like night and day. I had felt as good, and I still feel to this day that the diabetes affected my growth, or not growth, but going into puberty, because it almost like they started to get my blood sugar under control and I shot up. I think it was kind of like my body saying, okay, everything's great, let's go, boom. It's sad to see that when people present with thirst, urination, weight loss, can mimic many other diseases. But I really wish doctors automatically do a diabetes test. They could look for other things too. You go in and you say, oh, I have a pain in my appendix. They check other things. And doctors maybe sometimes are looking for the easiest thing to figure out what's going on. The problem is, without insulin, our blood sugars just keep going up and up and up. And I've heard it being diagnosed as the flu, as mono. Really? But, there is so much more. I think this is a note to parents out there who have kids and think that they have type 1. It's important that you request a blood sugar test or a hemoglobin A1C, because your son or daughter, if it's uncontrolled diabetes, will just constantly get sicker and sicker and sicker. There's been people who've been sent away from emergency. Oh, you just have the flu. And knowing about myself, I know what's going on in my body, and I know that the flu does not resemble DKA. Though I've heard DKA to be explained like, oh, it's just the flu without a fever. And as a person, when I have the flu, my tongue is dramatically dry. I know the difference. I know the difference between the flu and DKA. I was not happy with my last DK. I mean, I wasn't happy that I was in DK. I've been finding, because of my labile diabetes, whether laying in bed like lately I have been, or I'm up and active, if my blood sugars keep going high and high and high, I will end up in DKA. And we saw this last September. Whether I'm up, sitting in a chair, being so active, or lying here in bed, which I've had a comment saying, lying in bed doesn't help your diabetes. And they're true. I will give them that. However, there's other things going on here. The problem is we don't know exactly. Type 1 diabetes, you can always find excuses why it's not. Oh, he's growing. He just needs more water. Oh, the urination will settle down. Oh, he's got a flu bug. But if you're showing all these symptoms, let's get a diabetes test. As type 1 is usually present in the younger, let's say under 20, I'll say 25, that test should be mandatory of anyone showing thirst, urination. Let's just double check. Let's cross it off the list. Don't allow your doctor to just push it by the wayside. Make sure they get a test, see what the blood sugar is. I don't wish type 1 diabetes on any one of us, but it's better treated than not being treated. Sometimes doctors need a little push. It's a simple blood test. Nowadays, with the little glucometers, they can pretty well be done in a doctor's office. And if it says high, HI, that's probably an indicator that your son or your daughter, or yourself even, has type 1 diabetes. If you want to go and spend money and buy a glucometer and do it at home, great, but let's just test to make sure. So if you have sons or daughters or students that are always asking to use the washroom, that are sick a lot, that are thirsty, and I mean they are terribly thirsty, then you need to make sure you take care and get things done. Get the test done. See if it is. If it comes back normal blood sugars, great. Then you can move on and take a look at other things. But I think diabetes should be the first step. Always be open. It can save a life. Don't take no as an answer. They could give you a whole bunch of other reasons. Ask for a test. Say, I just want to make 100% sure. Your son or your daughter may have to do a little bit of extra, but they can grow up strong. They can grow up to be anything they want to be. But it first has to be diagnosed correctly. With that, have a great day, and we'll talk again soon. My email is mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com. mikesdiabetesworld@gmail.com.